Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single day. So if you do want to stay up to date on the latest cryptocurrency news and check up on the price of Bitcoin with us, don't forget to hit like and subscribe on today's video so you don't miss out on these live streams. We have to take a look at Bitcoin to start today's stream here. We are currently down 0.04% in the last 24 hours, so we barely have seen a movement. We're currently sat at $29,140. Ethereum is up 0.1%, not much movement either, to 1,907. Now, overall, the markets have not moved that much in the terms of the top 20. We haven't seen much movement. We do have Pepe, a very popular meme coin, sat in the top 100 cryptocurrencies in terms of market cap. Is it still in here, or has it started to see some moves to the downside? Let's take a look at Pepe here before we get into today's stream. Let's see if we've got it here on Crypto Saving Expert. Pepe, here we go. So we can see here that this currently is ranked, this is the wrong one then. This is ranked at 2,615. That can't be right. This is a different one. This one is mooning, wherever it is. The meme coins are performing incredibly well in the last couple of weeks. Let's get that off the screen. We don't promote small meme coins here on this channel. This is for informational purposes only. Let's take a look now. Let's move on. Before I get myself into trouble, let's just move on from that whole conversation. Let's take a look at this article here. We need to take a look at PacWest Bancorp advisors consider selling the bank after shares dip by over 50%. So let's take a look at this. Let's see what's going on within the banking system. We've seen problems within the banks for months now. We did see 3 banks shut down earlier in March. We saw First Republic Bank being required by JP Morgan earlier this week. It's been a very long week. It feels like it was months ago. And we are now seeing fears spread across other banks as well. And this is expected. We see DC Bank contagion. Now, so far, this bank has not seen a huge amount of withdrawals, just like First Republic Bank did. First Republic Bank saw $100 billion worth of user deposits being withdrawn, and that is what caused the price of the stock to plummet by 50%. Now, in the case of this bank, the stock has already plummeted by 50%, but we can see at the bottom of this article here that, let's take a look, where was I just reading then? The bank has explained the bank has not experienced out-of-the-ordinary deposit flows following the sale of First Republic Bank and other news. Core customer deposits have increased since March 31st, with total deposits totaling $28 billion as of May the 2nd, with insured deposits totaling 75% versus 71% at quarter end and 73% as of April 24th, 2023. So it's not seen any changes really within its deposits since First Republic Bank saw its troubles earlier this month. But what we are seeing here is that they're trying to investigate all of their different options. Their stock has plummeted by 50%. Now, the options that they can see here is that, according to a Bloomberg report, advisors of the bank have been exploring all options, including a sale of the Beverly Hills-based bank. Other options include breaking up the bank, which has a community lender called Pacific Western Bank, and additional commercial and consumer lending businesses. So because of the 50% decline in the stock, which you can see here on this chart, they need to look at all the different options and see what they can do to continue operating. So we'll see how this continues to play out in the next couple of days. We are still seeing fears spread around the banking system, and it doesn't seem to have stopped just yet. In fact, many people are predicting it's going to get a lot worse. For us, within the banking system, I am expecting that we will continue to see Bitcoin react to this news. Every single time that we've seen fears around the banking system this year, Bitcoin has risen significantly. And this is because when people have fears around the traditional banking systems, they're looking to invest in other assets where they can store their value, whether that be gold, silver, or Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has risen significantly off the back of these fears. Now, obviously, these fears aren't what we want to see. But there are flaws within the banking systems, and this is something that can take place, and then people may be looking for alternative assets. So we just need to be thankful that we're here within the cryptocurrency space, and we are aware of these alternative forms of savings. So let's take a look at the chat now quickly. And Kevin Stone says, sell your meme coins, buy Atom and Cosmos ecosystem tokens. Now, I actually personally don't invest in Atom and Cosmos, but I understand what you're saying. Move away from meme coins. No, I'm not really a meme coin fan. Meme coins are tokens that have no real world utility. They are just used to trade. They're literally just assets that you can trade. You can buy and sell them. That's their only use case. But however, we are currently in meme coin season. Meme coins are popping up left, right, and center and having huge gains. I mean, I was just reading a thread on Twitter this morning about the guy that put 1 ETH into Pepe and now is sitting on like $5 million. And he's already realized like $1.8 million worth of gains from that and still holds a huge percentage of the supply. So meme coins can create very wealthy individuals. We also always do have to be incredibly careful. For every buyer there is a seller, and for every seller there is a buyer. And this money doesn't get made out of thin air. It's the markets. That's how it works. Some people lose, some people win. We do need to be incredibly careful and just acknowledge that you are taking a big risk if you're investing into meme coins. They have no real utility, so you can't believe in them for the long term that they're going to continue to the moon in a year's time. They're literally just a meme on a token. And so we do need to be incredibly careful, but I would say that meme coin season is pretty fun. As I tweeted on my personal account yesterday, I was taking a look at meme coins in 2021 when we saw the first meme coin season. And I was watching all of these tokens plummet, and increase, and I did not get involved. Then we had the metaverse pump, where loads of metaverse tokens were doing incredibly well, and I thought I was too late to that as well, so I didn't really get involved that much. I FOMO'd into a couple, but I really didn't get involved that much. The next one we had was AI. Now AI tokens started to perform really well. Again, I thought I was too late for that, didn't get involved too much. But every single time I've learned that when I think I'm too late, they still have a run of like 2 or 3 weeks, I've found. And that's what's happened in the past anyway, in my circumstance. So on this time, I decided I'm going to get involved. So I've started buying and selling some meme coins, making a quick little profit and then taking my profits incredibly quickly. I do like to take risk, but I'm not too keen on investing on meme coins for the long term. As I just said, they have no real world utility. I can't believe in them for the long term. So I like to buy and sell in a pretty short period of time and hopefully receive some nice profits from that trade. But it is definitely a risk, and every time I buy a meme coin, I am aware that it could go to zero. So that is something we need to be careful about. Always be careful when you're investing into low caps anyway, and especially if it's a meme coin. But let's take a look at the next article here. Kevin Stone said incredibly lucky timing for that guy on his Pepe. Incredibly lucky timing, but also I would like to also point out that I always think people are so, like, they've done so well to get in so early, but to hold on for that long is pretty impressive. If I had $1,000 and I put it into a token and it reached $10,000, I'd probably be taking out $3,000 minimum. But to hold on to that token, to that $1,000 investment, to let it get to $100,000 just seems a little bit worrying. Like, I would like to take some profits at that point, at least $50,000. To leave it until it gets to like $2 million is just insane, especially that it's a meme coin. How have you not taken profits yet? So that's when it gets beyond luck. That's when it gets to borderline stupidity, but also like it's incredible and it's been very, very profitable. People that don't take profits and continue to ride tokens like that up and up and up amaze me. And that isn't just luck. I can't explain that. I would never have the risk tolerance to do that. I would be taking profits. So I would call it stupidity, but it's worked in his favour this time. So let's take a look at the next article here anyway. I wouldn't like to call him stupid. He's just made $8 million overnight. But it's a pretty bold move to not take profits for a very long period of time. And now I know he did take some profits and take out his initial, I think when he put 1 Ethereum in, and shortly after he took out like 3.5 Ethereum, but then he continued to ride it up and up and up. And surely with a token like that, I'd be taking profits as soon as possible. Anyway, let's take a look at the next round. That's why I've not made $8 million overnight and he has. Let's take a look at the next round. We need to talk about NFT insider trading. So former OpenSea manager has been found guilty in first NFT insider trading case. So essentially this was a manager that was looking at what NFTs were about to be listed and then buying into those NFTs. So we can see here After a week-long trial and 2 days of deliberations, the ex-manager was convicted in a Manhattan federal court. Now, we did report on this 2 days ago, or maybe yesterday it was, where he was arguing that he wasn't aware that this information was needed to be kept secret. Obviously, that didn't go to plan, that didn't work, and he has now been charged with these allegations. So through the scheme, he made over $50,000 in profit from buying and selling 45 NFTs. So this is a 32-year-old, and he's used anonymous crypto wallets and OpenSea accounts to buy dozens of NFTs before they were listed and sold them after their listing for 2 to 5 times the initial purchase price. Now, I'm also not massively a fan on NFTs. I've said this a couple of times. NFTs to me, I mean, a lot of the NFTs don't have real world utilities. Some of them do. Some of them like have real world benefits, like you can get access to different events, or they can be used as tickets for different things. Those NFTs I like. The NFTs that are just pictures, just on the same level to me as meme coins. You can make a huge amount of money from them, but I just don't really understand them. But one thing I would like to add here is I would say there's an additional downfall to NFTs, which is obviously they have the pictures, so some people may prefer them, but also you can't like take a portion of your profit out with NFTs unless you buy like 100. I've got one NFT and it made a little bit of profit, and I thought I'd love to like scalp some profits off the top there, but you can't. It's all or nothing with NFTs if you just buy one. And I'm not really into NFTs, so I'm not going to go out and buy 10. And that's the barrier to entry that I find with NFTs. I want to be able to take some profits, or at least take out my initial investment, and you just can't. It's all or nothing. That is not what I advocate for. I always say dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out is my favorite strategy, and you just can't do that. So in that sense, I actually prefer meme coins, which is something I didn't expect to be saying. Let's take a look here back at this article though. Back on track. Sean O'Rourke said meme coins are for gamblers and nerds. No, they really are. They're just a token to be traded. That's their only utility. But it's fun. It's fun to make money. Let's take a look at this article anyway. So a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison has been given to this guy. He made $50,000 and he's got a maximum sentence of 40 years. That is not a good trade. So we can see here that he has exploited his advanced knowledge of which NFTs would be featured on OpenSea's website to make profitable trades for himself. Although this case involved trades in novel crypto assets, there was nothing particularly innovative about his conduct. It was fraud. So that is what we are seeing there. Let's take a look at the next article. Let's move on here. Let's take a look at what's going on in the rest of the cryptocurrency news stories now. We've kept up to date on that story. It's a pretty interesting one. I don't know if NFTs... interesting. I'm going to take a look at that a little bit further and see what's actually happened in that. Don't forget today, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. I feel like I'm talking fast today. You can tell I've had a coffee just before we came on this stream, and it's a little bit later today, so I'm a little bit more awake. I'm really not a morning person. Let's take a look at the next article here. We have Coinbase to end crypto lending service next week. So Coinbase's decision to close its lending service is not due to recent or past issues with regulators, but reduced demand. Now that is an interesting sentence. I would have immediately assumed that it was due to issues with regulators. The SEC have made it very difficult for cryptocurrency companies in the US, and they specifically cracked down on lending services, saying that exchanges are offering unregistered securities. So let's take a look at this. Before we move on, actually, so a security is determined by the Howey test. You can use the Howey test to determine if an asset is a commodity or a security. And the Howey test is a set of 4 rules. And one of the rules is that if you expect other people's work to give you returns. Now, when you're staking and lending on a blockchain, you are making those transactions, but within a centralized exchange, you are giving your tokens to the centralized exchange, and then they're doing the work for you to earn interest on your tokens. So that's what makes it cross over the line in the Howey test for it to be unregistered securities on centralized exchanges, but not when you're interacting directly with the blockchain. So that's what's really important, and that's the difference there. So we can see here that Coinbase have also, actually we can't see it here, but I'll just tell you anyway. Coinbase have been issued a Wells notice this year, and they also have had some other problems with regulators in the US, but they've made this decision not based on those issues. They've made this decision based on the reduced demand. So let's take a look at this. I also feel like staking tokens, I think it's a brilliant way, like if you're going to stake on the Ethereum network, it's a brilliant way to support the network and continue moving forwards. But it's not something I do anymore. I used to do it all the time. And then I just realized that the percentage I was gaining for the lack of control that I had, like you can't sell your tokens immediately. If you need cash immediately, you can't gain access to it for a certain amount of time. I just felt like the percentage that I was gaining wasn't worth that. But it depends, obviously. If you have a huge sum of money, maybe it is. Maybe I'm just too poor to see the advantages of this. Anyway, let's take a look at what's going on in this article. I keep getting distracted today. That coffee's hit me hard. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Robert's reminding everyone, please don't forget to like today's video and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Thank you very much, Robert, for reminding me. Let's take a look further into this article. So Coinbase Borrow will end its operations on the set date, and the service allows users to obtain fiat loans of up to $1 million, with roughly 30 to 40% of their Bitcoin holdings deposited as collateral. While the service will stop issuing new loans, customers with outstanding loans will not be impacted. So you can see that as Coinbase spokesperson has said, we regularly evaluate our products to ensure we're prioritizing the offerings that our customers care about most. Effective May the 10th, we will stop issuing new loans through Coinbase Borrow. So customers that already have funds borrowed are absolutely fine. And this is really interesting. This has come after news that Coinbase are offering a derivatives exchange for people that are not US citizens. So Coinbase were having a fine time, one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. Just a year and a half ago, they launched onto the public. They are now a public company, so you can buy Coinbase stocks under the ticker COIN. Very big company, very successful. And when they launched as a public company, they have to get investigated so much. They need to have a full audit to show that the company is correct and like working as it should. And now, a year and a half later, they've been issued a Wells notice from the SEC, and they're stepping up and they're saying, how can this be? We were fully audited a year and a half ago. The regulations haven't changed, and we haven't changed as a company. So how can you issue a Wells notice to us? Now, a Wells notice is basically a warning that you're going to get investigated into, and that you could see some problems with regulators later down the line. And Coinbase are just saying, this just is not fair, and they're like, we need some clarity on this regulation to understand what's changed and what the problem is now that wasn't there a year and a half ago. So that's what they're trying to say here. So they've now opened a derivatives exchange for people outside of the US, looking for external customers where regulation on cryptocurrency is a bit clearer and they can follow guidelines a little bit better. And then now we can see that they're actually shutting down an alleyway in for the US customers. Now, taking a look at the chat, thank you very much, James, for the super chat. Still love the hashtag. Hashtag let Jess have the super chats. For those that are new here, I was speaking to Jordan about getting super chats here on the channel. I don't get them just yet, but maybe if we get enough, he'll let me have a few off the top. Thank you very much, James, for that super chat. Very much appreciate it. I haven't seen that in a while. Let's carry on with today's news. Let's see what's in the chat. Kevin said, tell them, Robert, because Robert said, everyone needs to like today's video. Yes, you all do need to like today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, thank you very much, James. I very much appreciate that. I'll report back to Jordan that we have this hashtag going. See if we can sort that one out. Let's take a look at the next article now anyway. So we see these problems with the SEC, but they are looking for global adoption, offering services to non-US customers with derivative products as well. So you can trade Bitcoin and USDT with leverage. Pretty exciting stuff coming from Coinbase. They also actually, I keep saying we're moving on and then I keep coming with more news. They also met up with some regulators within the UK a couple of weeks ago, and they praised the way that UK regulates cryptocurrency. It's not very often that our government gets praised, but we can see here that he praised the way that we regulate cryptocurrency because it's all regulated under one authority. And he also said that the UK is its second biggest revenue source after the US. So potentially Coinbase may become the host of the headquarters of Coinbase in years to come if the US do not sort out the clarity around the regulation. Let's take a look at the next article and see what is going on here. Terry Toucan said, good day, Jess. How you been? Miss you like a shoe without laces. Never heard that phrase before. Thanks, Terry. Let's take a look at the next article here and see what's going on. In the world of crypto, we have ZK Link raises $10 million in a funding round led by Coinbase Ventures to build a unified multi-chain trading layer. So continuing their push towards building a unified multi-chain trading layer for decentralized finance and NFTs, ZK Link raised $10 million in a freshly announced funding round led by Coinbase Ventures. So in funding round led by Coinbase, the company raised $10 million and the infrastructure layer facilitates asset trading between blockchains. The money raised will assist ZK Link in launching its mainnet in the third quarter of this year. So Coinbase are really helping push the industry forward. We've seen this over and over again. Let's move on to the next article here, though. If you want to hear more about that news article, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com and you'll get the most reliable cryptocurrency news. You also get free courses here as well. All you need to do is press this big blue sign up button at the top, create an account, and if you tick that box as well, you get access to our newsletter every single Tuesday at 11 a.m. Also, you can go back to the past issues as well if you sign up to this. And we did a roundup of April on the 1st of May that was published. And I got a little Q&A in there as well. So if you want to see that Q&A, make sure to go to the past issues of the newsletter and check that out. Let's take a look at the next article here. We have Deloitte to leverage Polkadot's Kilt parachain to issue reusable digital credentials. So Deloitte has entered the Polkadot ecosystem, and the accounting firm will now use Kilt's reusable digital identity credentials to power its Know Your Customer and Know Your Business processes. So very exciting stuff here, seeing cryptocurrencies and blockchains used for how they should be. Let's take a look at this. We have Deloitte will leverage Kilt to issue reusable digital credentials to support KYC and KYB processes. So the reusable digital credentials, I'm not saying that again, I've said that enough times, it's a bit of a tongue twister, have a variety of use cases, including regulatory compliance for banking and decentralized finance, age verification for e-commerce, private logins, and fundraising. So the reusable digital credentials, I said it, solve the challenges of tedious paper-based verifications. Now, we've learned here at Crypto Saving Expert that the verifications of KYC and KYB are very, very tedious. The legal team don't like filling those in too much. But we can see here that they are trying to solve this and using blockchains to do so in one of a major company. So we may see this spread out more and more as time goes on. Let's take a look at the next article here and see what's going on next. We have Jack Dorsey donate $10 million to make Bitcoin the internet's native currency. So let's take a look at this. He's contributed towards making Bitcoin the native currency of the internet. Obviously, this is the Twitter co-founder. I'm sure we all know this by now. And he's a big fan of Bitcoin. And he's continued to show his commitment to developing the Bitcoin protocol and decentralized social networks. So obviously, Jack Dorsey is now no longer a part of Twitter. Elon Musk is taking over that role. And Jack Dorsey is looking more towards decentralized social media platforms at this point in time. Now, I've not really seen many social media platforms kick off and become very, very popular, decentralized ones. But I don't think that's too far away. I feel like this is something that could come in the near future. It's very hard to gain attention as a social media platform because the major social media platforms right now are incredibly engaging. Things like TikTok that show you a new video every 30 seconds, they're hard to compete with. They know exactly how to gain users' attention and how to keep them there. So this technology needs to really, really be something brand new to get people out of platforms that they are currently on and to move to decentralized networks. So it's a big task, and we do know that decentralized applications are brilliant and they are really useful and they have all of their benefits, but it is pretty common to say that the user interface of decentralized applications doesn't yet compete with centralized applications. So we do really need to improve on our technology before we can start to compete with mainstream technologies, but we are still improving and trying to, and we can see here the benefits of decentralized social media platforms, so I don't think they're too far away. Let's take a look at this article anyway. So he's committed. That was honestly the amount of side notes that I've made today. I've been waffling off on little things. We need to come back to the main news stories of the day. You can see here that OpenStats has said, we believe that free software and open protocols are necessary for a free and prosperous society. Without software that protects the individual user's rights and freedoms, and without digital infrastructure that is open to all, modern society risks slipping further into digital I can't say that word. So what we can see here is that Jack Dorsey's donated $10 million towards Bitcoin and other related technologies, and the donation will be used to build a sustainable ecosystem and provide consistent funding for free and open source projects and protocols. So 50% of the funds will be set aside to support the development of new and growing decentralized social network Nostr. So maybe this is one we should take a look at. That's a huge amount of money, $50 million being contributed to the growth of that platform. I would also say if there's any content creators out there watching to this and being very interested in decentralized networks, being a social content creator and getting on a new platform before anyone else does gives you a huge leg up. And that is something that I've learned over and over again. If you look at TikTok, for example, all of the major TikTokers are those that have been on it since the start, before it was really a thing that caught on that everybody now has on their phones. And so if we see a big decentralized platform performing very, very well and you're a content creator and you get on there first, you could do very, very well. Side note there, though, let's take a look at this article anyway. So the Bitcoin proponent expressed his desire for OpenSats to channel the donation towards making Bitcoin the native currency of the internet. He also hopes the internet gets a native protocol for social media. So the latest development further indicates his bullishness towards Bitcoin and other decentralized innovations. So since May 22, Dorsey has invested around $13 million into similar open source social protocols that allow users to move their profiles between competitors. So his multinational technology company Block is building an open Bitcoin mining system to solve Bitcoin's pre-existing mining computational issues, like making it more distributed and efficient. And so he's definitely working on helping us build the cryptocurrency industry as big as possible. Still really trying to move forward. There is a long way to go. We are relatively early into the cryptocurrency space. The blockchains are relatively new. We still see bug exploits for smart contracts. We need to develop on that. We need to learn the best practices for the code. You can see the problems we have within this industry due to us being early within this space. Now, this is brilliant. To be early within a space means we can make a huge amount of money, but it also means that we still see some problems. For example, we see bug exploits. We see problems with transaction speeds. We see problems with mining. And these are problems that need funding in order to improve upon. And Jack Dorsey is helping us do that. So it's very nice to see here. Let's take a look at the next article here. Sean O'Rourke said there is a few blockchain-based decentralized social media and video hosting platforms coming. A really big one really soon. Yeah, there are many different platforms out there. They just need to have a user interface that can compare to centralized platforms, and that is a very, very, very big task. So let's take a look at the next article here anyway and see what's going on here. We are moving on now to the price of Bitcoin, and then at the end of today's stream, we'll also do some Bitcoin analysis, take a look at the chart, look at some indicators and see what's going on there. So first of all, we are looking like we could see a breakout to $36,000. So let's take a look at this article. If you're a Bitcoin bull, hit the like button. If you're a Bitcoin bear, hit the like button anyway. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button and drop a bull emoji in the chat if you've got one. I don't know if there is one. I should know that. I should be using that more often if there is. Let's take a look at this one anyway. Bitcoin has potentially formed a bullish symmetrical triangle that could lead to a 20% increment towards $36,000. So some of the analysts at Matrixport have pointed out this chart pattern here. We can see here, we can even pull this up on the chart. It started on the 14th of May. Let's get this right. 14th of May. Let's make this automatic so we can see this a little bit clearer. They've taken, this is all in the way. Let's take a look at the chart here. They've taken it from the wicks down here and they've pulled it all the way. This is well too early. I'm looking at this point here they're looking at. Let's get onto the 1 hour chart maybe. This would be a little bit better. Maybe this is something I should have planned pre-stream. But here we are. We can see here they started drawing this from the 15th of March. That's why it's all right. Okay, automatic. Let's zoom this out. 15th of March would have been back here. Geez, it's going very far back. Let's check that this is all right. 15th of March all the way up to where we are now. Okay, I've memorized the chart. We can see it's here. We're going to go from here. So they're taking this point here And they're also taking, let's get this right, I am taking an awfully long time to do this, my biggest, sincerest apologies. If we take a look at this, it looks pretty nice. It looks like a symmetrical triangle, just like they've said. And so we can see here that we've bounced that level of support a couple of times. We've also bounced that level of resistance a couple of times. Right now, we have been rejected from that level of resistance. We did draw this resistance on our charts yesterday, actually, on yesterday's live stream. If you don't believe me, watch the entirety of yesterday's live stream as well, and that'd help us with the viewers. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year on this YouTube channel, so we can get one of those big, nice silver plaques. So if you wouldn't mind hitting subscribe if you haven't already. If you're already, how far into this live stream are we? 30 minutes in and you haven't subscribed. I think 30 minutes in shows that you're pretty much enjoying it, so you should hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We can see here that we are hitting that resistance right now. And 29,350. We do have a previous level of resistance, and this is between the $28,600 level and the $28,800 level. And this has been acting as a resistance back here. And we have now seen it being used as a resistance once again. We've broken above it. We did use it as a little bit of a support this morning, a very small support this morning. So we can either... These are the options that I'm seeing right now. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. I do have to say that. But what I can see here, the options are either we break through this level of resistance, or we have to come down and retest this level of support here, which is down at $28,000. Now let's take a look at this chart. If we move to the upside, it would be a significant move to the upside. We would expect, obviously we do have some other levels of resistance in the way. We've got lots of levels of resistance here, unfortunately. The major one being at $31,000. However, if we manage to break through these and start to move to the upside, we could see some major moves. We have a CME gap up at $35,000, which reminds me, it's Friday. We have a CME gap opening today, so let's take a look at that. BTC1 exclamation mark. In terms of CME gap, we need to take a look at when today's is going to close. We've got, we've got about, what time's it close? 9 p.m. BST time. It's now 1:30, so we've got 7-8 hours left before we see the CME gap open tonight. So this is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange futures. We can see here they're operational Monday to Friday. When they close on a Friday, for example, here the chart stops and then it opens again on the Monday. So we can see here it creates a gap in the price of Bitcoin, and it acts like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. So obviously this has acted like a magnet. This has been filled because we've seen price action within this space after the gap was created. So that's called the Bitcoin CME gap, and then when it's the price action is between that point, it's called the gap being filled. So let's take a look at what's going on here on the price of Bitcoin. Oh, I've just completely chopped it all off, I think. Can you still see all that? So what we can see here is that we have this level of previous resistance, which will hopefully act as a support between the $28,800 to $28,600 level. If it doesn't, we'll be looking down at this $28,100 level. And if it doesn't, we'll be looking down at this $27,700 level. If we manage to break to the upside, these are the resistances that I'm looking at, but we could see a pretty nice move. Taking a look at this analysis, they've got a target of up at $35,000 to $36,000. Now that is where the CME gap is, so we could see that CME gap close pretty nicely as well. Somebody has just commented in the chat saying, dump it, don't dump it, this is Bitcoin. And we're all big Bitcoin bulls here, and we can see here we have a CME gap down at $20,300. We also have one up here at $35,200 there as well. So they're the CME gaps that are impacting the price of Bitcoin, acting like magnets. Right, I think that's all we have for today's stream. I think we've all had enough today. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification button, and then tune back in on Monday where we take a look at the repercussions of the CME gap that's created this weekend, and let's see if we have a nice breakout of that triangle. One thing I would like to mention before we forget is that it is Friday right now. Usually we don't see that much price action over the weekend, so we may see some sideways action within this triangle. Now this triangle finishes next week at 11 a.m. BST time, so we have some time to maybe continue within this range unless some major news occurs. That may be a more likely scenario, but we need to keep an eye on this. Thank you very much for tuning in as always, and I will see you all back here tomorrow. And thank you very, very much, James, for your super chat. I very much appreciate it. So I will see you all back here on Monday. Goodbye.